Welcome back to Apolla's Odyssey. I'm your host, Apolla Asteria, and I am here in Hawaii on the Big Island in an undisclosed location today. I'm here with Blake and Brent Cousins from ThirdPhaseOfMoon, and we're gonna be checking out a possible pyramid, which is down here in an undisclosed location on the Big Island. And I wanna go check this out because I've been to a lot of locations like this myself around the world. I've seen many pyramids in many different continents around the world, so I'm excited to see what they have here. I haven't seen it yet, and apparently it looks like it could be a possible step pyramid or an ancient structure. I know a lot about Lemuria from my research. Hawaii is like the last remnant of Lemuria that's still up above the ocean, so it might be interesting to see what it is they have here. I mean, is it like an ancient pyramid from Lemuria? I don't know, so let's go check it out. All right, so I am here about 150 feet deep in a ravine here on the Big Island of Hawaii, and it looks like I'll be exploring this way for another 30 minutes or so, and then I'll catch up with Blake and Brent Cousins, who will be out here showing me where this pyramid is. Apparently this location is like pretty much untouched by other people. No one really knows about this area. It's pretty deep in the jungle, so come with me and let's check it out. Okay, so this place is not at all what I expected. This is really incredible. I mean, the energy that I can feel coming up through here is definitely something different. I mean, I feel like I'm in a movie scene right now, but you know, apparently this spot may be an ancient structure. And you know, from my own research, Hawaii is the last remnant of Lemuria. So maybe there's some very interesting locations here that were left by humans, like even like 100,000 years, a few 20,000 years ago, or even more. Who knows? That, you know, is just completely lost to time, and definitely feels like an Indiana Jones movie, that's for sure. So this is pretty interesting.
Made it.
I made it.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so what's going on here? I think I see something behind you here. This looks very interesting. Is this the spot? I mean,
you know, we're walking over here about 5 years ago, and we're looking for bottles and, you know, treasure hunting. And we came across this thing. You're seeing a little peek of it right now, but we've been asking around. We're looking for geologists, archaeologists to confirm exactly what we found here. But here, come take a closer look. Tell me what you see here. So it's embedded on the side of the wall. I don't know, it's about 30 feet high. It has a step pyramid, kind of like what you see in the Mayan architecture of pyramids, but nothing like this I've ever seen anywhere in the state of Hawaii. You seen what I'm seeing?
yeah, you know, I'm seeing like what looks like a wall here where it seems like there's a step out just slightly on each level. But I don't know if I see like that there'd be another side of this. I mean, have you tried to go around these trees here to see if there's another side? I mean, it definitely looks man-made to me, the way it's just these different kind of smaller steps coming out like that. So who knows?
I know Brent's up there. He's kind of seeing if there's any other, like, you know, another side to this pyramid, but at the moment, we're not seeing any indicators, but I think we should get a closer look. And remember, there's fire ants around here, so we don't want to touch anything.
Don't touch anything.
It's like,
you know, this definitely looks like a man-made wall. It definitely looks whether it's a wall or if it is a pyramid or something. It's definitely not something that I feel like could be formed by nature here in the middle of the jungle. It definitely looks like something.
Let's get around here and get a closer look over here.
You know, as I'm getting closer to this, I'm starting to notice that these rocks, the way that they're coming together on this wall, it really reminds me of some different sites I've seen in Peru, like Ollantaytambo and Machu Picchu, because the Incans, they would put their rocks in the walls kind of together in the same sort of way. And also previous cultures, they were saying, and I kind of can see how these seem to be fit together in a certain way like that. It almost seems similar, but much more rough, which could mean it's more ancient. I mean, what do you think? Do you think this is actually an ancient wall, or do you think it may be a little more new?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I find interesting is the bedrock itself. It seems that there's steps carved into the bedrock, so that's indicating like some pretty heavy duty stonework. And I'm not really familiar with Hawaiians actually carving steps out of bedrock. I know they actually, you know, made temples out of rocks, but this seems geometric in shape as well. And it's like, again, geometric. So it could be an indicator of like new construction, or maybe geometric old construction like the Mayan temple. But it's just, these are answers we're looking for. We don't have the answers at the moment. But still, it's out in the middle of nowhere and it stands out. Like it looks, it doesn't look normal, that's for sure. Here, come, get up closer and see these steps that I'm talking about. So, I don't know, there's a circle here. I don't know if this is all carved out. I think I was gonna see some kind of metal ring or a pipe maybe for irrigation or...
Okay, now that I'm looking at this, I'm seeing something very interesting in regards to the spacing in between each of these layers. It seems to me like each layer, so we can see there's this one, this layer, looks like 4 layers, and each of them seem to be pretty evenly spaced. And also the way the rocks are coming together, it reminds me of a lot of spots I've seen in Peru, the way the Incans put their stones together when they built structures. So
is there like mortar in between the stones over there? Because it seems like there's some mortar.
You know, I don't notice mortar between the stones there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it definitely looks like there's some mortar between the stones here. You said that you've asked around in Hawaii to see if anyone knew what structures may have been here before, and everyone said they didn't know what you were talking about?
We're actually calling up the Hilo, the university, trying to get people to take a look at this, give some answers. We reached out to the major news over here in the state, and nobody's coming out to take a look. You're the first.
And there's no ancient evidence
You're
of
the first person
ancient
since we found
structures here on the island.
Oh, well, there's ancient structures on the island, and I've never seen anything with mortar. So, again, it's hard to tell if it's like ancient. But then again, these vines indicate that it's been grown over for at least a couple hundred years. So who was doing this 200 years ago? That's another question. I mean, do you think this is like a corner over here? Or do you think this is just a wall that doesn't go back? It's like a bridge, like it's like... Hey!
Hey, Brent.
So what do you think?
So I think this is definitely very interesting. It looks man-made to me. I mean, these steps that are coming out, I think you guys definitely found something very interesting.
It's definitely interesting. What I like is that we got the banyan roots just overlaying this whole structure right here. And the banyan tree wasn't introduced to Hawaii until the late 1790s or something like that. So for this to have wrapped around and created all this over, let's say, 200 years, this thing's been here a while.
Definitely. And you know, the structure itself to me doesn't really look like something that would be a more modern structure. The way it's built with the steps on it, I mean, it doesn't seem like any sort of like more modern form of building to me. I mean, out of like, you know, the different other places in Hawaiian culture that you've seen here, have you ever seen anything like this?
Never seen anything like this. That's why we found this, and we thought this was unique, and that's why we're sharing it. We've shared this on Third Phase of Moon quite a bit of times, but never really got the airplay, so why not share it with you and while you're here in Hawaii?
Yeah, thank you so much for showing me. This is incredible.
You want to climb this thing?
Yeah, you know, I've actually been rock climbing my whole life. I'm a professional rock climber, and this seems a very simple structure. Brent over here doesn't want me climbing very high, but I think I can at least get to the second here and see, you know, if I can get a closer look on what may be above me. So
right, just
let me get started here.
Not
we'll
much
see.
More than that, and
All right.
Be careful there.
Yep, there's a sturdy root right here, so.
I don't know, I see some fire ants
Yeah,
crawling on you, or what?
you know, I've heard that there's these microscopic ants crawling around on here, and I actually do think I see a few, so I'm gonna come back down just because,
Do you see anything while you're up there?
you know, I am getting bit by fire ants right now, but I do see, I can see the layers a little more closely now, and it seems like there are some, it looks like lava rock that this is made out of in some places, which I think is kind of interesting.
Between that rock, I'm not seeing grout up there.
No, I'm not seeing anything between the rocks up here.
Just take it down, get out of the fire ants and watch your steps.
All right.
Oh wow. So you're saying there's no mortar up on those rocks, and it's how's those fire ants?
You know, I think there were some crawling around on my hands, so kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, I didn't notice any mortar up here.
It looks like different
It
rock
seemed
from
like
up
more
there
like
than it is
lava
down
rock.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, up there I actually noticed that it seemed like there were lava rock, you know, like the rock with the holes in it, the porous like lava rock. This is like a different kind of stone for sure than what I saw up there. Definitely looks like lava rock up there. Okay, so I'm looking at this leaf right now, and just to give you a perspective on what I'm dealing with these fire ants up there, I mean, they're literally all over everything. It's crazy because you don't really see it until you're right up on it, and there's tons of little tiny microscopic red ants on this leaf right here. You know, I've been looking at maybe if there's another way I can climb up further down or something, but it does seem like a lot of these leaves around here are covering these fire ants, and apparently if you get bit by them, then it stings like a bee. So my hands do feel a little itchy right now. I'm not sure if I was hit by one yet, but I definitely saw some when I was climbing up there, so it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it does look like this corner is definitely a corner here, so that's interesting. Yeah, yeah.
This is kind of a standalone structure, that's for sure. But
All right, thanks guys for joining me here on this latest episode of Apolla's Odyssey. This was such an awesome adventure, and I'm so glad that the Cousins brothers were able to bring me down here today. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think about this structure behind me right now. Do you think it's modern? Do you think it's ancient? Is it from Lemuria? Let me know in the comments. And until then, see you next time on Apolla's Odyssey. Over and out.